If we succeeded, I would actually be disappointed because that wouldn't match what I expect of us. And I'm all about those sweet, sweet expectations. Let's start.
She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Touch me on me back, she says I'm Mr. Romantic. Call me fantastic, touch me on me back, she says I'm Mr.
Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is at the time of recording, the 3rd of June, and I am Andrei Rodnov. I am joined on the Rompin podcast today.
You
with
really that name. We're just coming around.
yeah,
It's coming around.
oh, it's coming around. It's coming around. It's still terrible, but it's coming around.
Oh yeah.
Josh, introduce
Hello.
yourself.
Yes, I'm Josh. I am
Hello.
Bombastic, and that's Jake.
That's Jake. He's
And I'm Jake, and I have a
little-
headache, so I sound like I'm drunk.
You
Little- You're
yeah,
always
headache.
drunk, Rami.
Just
But I'm
take,
not.
Take your medicine, you whiskey jockey.
Whiskey jockey.
Yeah, it's a,
yeah,
it's a
he's
new thing. I'm coining the phrase.
Okay. I mean, I was never gonna use it, so you're free to use it whenever you want. It's god awful.
Oh yeah, it is. It's
All right. That
Yes.
was an intro. Yeah, we'll stick with that.
That's good.
Yeah, we've done it. We've done it. We made one. This is
All
better
right.
than last time.
Well, thank you for listening, everyone.
Yeah,
That's
we-
it.
yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
So close your browsers.
If they did, it really wouldn't make much difference.
It'd be
would
kind
it?
of like you remember when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out,
Mm.
and towards the end of the game, like the artificial intelligence who's been telling you what to do like throughout the entire game, like starts malfunctioning. It told people like, you've been playing for too long, turn off your console, turn it off now. And there were people who actually did that, but it was just a part of the game. And Hideo Kojima sitting there like, stupid noobs. That's what that was like.
Yeah. I really fooled those people, making sure they can enjoy my product. Suckers. Well, you know what? I've listened to a number of podcasts about video games, and I've read a number of websites that concern video games. And since E3 is coming up,
E3, yes.
most
big E.
of most of them have referred to their podcasts or the special shows the big one. So this is VG Romping's the big one
This is,
before
no,
E3.
but this is not the big one. We're not. This isn't even E3 hasn't started
This is
yet. We're still-
pre-E3.
We are covering pre-E3 releases. Of course, we are all poor, so we will not actually be going to E3.
I will get on my passport and stamp it to pretend like I've gone. I will also pack all my luggage, and I'll live at the airport. But I'm not actually going to be boarding any flights.
So wait, it's like the terminal.
It's exactly like the terminal. It's exactly like the terminal. I'm Tom Hanks. You can be Wilson. That was the same movie.
Probably. But yeah, pre-E3, I mean, a lot of really big trailers have come out and a lot of people waiting for some big announcements because not a whole lot is being, said about what the big companies are going to do at E3.
Well, yeah. I mean, they want to keep everything hush hush until.
But
It-
usually
yeah.
we have like a rough idea of what they're going to be showing us.
Mm.
you know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of speculation. Some people are saying new consoles are going to be announced.
I think we're a bit far off that. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of there's a lot of uncertainty with the E3s now because no one's quite sure when this generation of consoles is going to end. So it's always, up in the air. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if this console generation actually goes on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Apart from the Wii U, the Wii U to me kind of seems like it's just catching up to this generation's consoles.
Mm.
That's Nintendo catching up. So I mean,
That's a
I
little
think
bit sad as well.
I think with the hardware we've got now, the consoles could last at least another couple of years. I mean, without having to upgrade.
It could definitely last, but it's a
Yeah.
case of
Should.
because this current generation is the closest we have consoles compared. Like that's the closest consoles have ever come to being like a PC.
Yeah.
So technologically, they're going to be really inferior compared to PCs. So they are going to have to.
They always have though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's more about accessibility, than actual,
But yes,
output.
anyway, E3 trailers.
Mm. Let's
Yeah.
talk about E3 trailers.
So there are a lot of trailers that have been released. Jake, what's one that's particularly caught your eye? Because there are quite a few of them. So narrow down
The
a couple.
quantum conundrum, and that can only be good.
Oh, I've
You can-
already, yeah, I've already pre-ordered mine. So
Mm.
on the
Oh, you
Steam.
can pre-order it.
Yeah, you can pre-order it on Steam, and they've got like a pre-order. It's like $20, and you get the next two DLCs and the soundtrack.
Oh, sweet. How did
Yeah,
I
I
miss
know.
that? I'm getting on that definitely.
Oh no, do
But
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
game
looks
looks
good.
sweet, and I have much faith in it, mainly
Oh.
because Kim Swift. Sorry, I was being interrupted by an advert. Kim Swift, the lead designer from Portal and Portal 2, is something in this one. I think the lead designer in this one.
I think I think
He visited the offices once, and he bought a Coke from one of the dispenser machines.
That's close
He's
enough.
involved. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's in the credits.
no, yeah, I'm really look forward to like quirky looking, games like that. And something if it can, because it does from the outside looking in, it kind of does look like a bit of a Portal ripoff.
It's very much like Portal. You can see the similarities,
Yeah,
but it worked. It's a tried and true formula.
if they,
And this one looks much more quirky, like cartoony style.
I think it's not even a matter of if it's more quirky than Portal. I think if it needs to create its own personality as a game, because they're going for like what they've released a little bit of a storyline. It's you're going to your uncle's house. He's a mad scientist and he's not there, and you have to figure out where he is and save him. That sort of thing.
Thing is,
I
that
mean-
Portal never really had a solid storyline, did it? The first
No,
game was
Portal-
very.
No, Portal had
It was
a
always-
solid storyline.
Second
It
one,
was
the
pretty-
first one, the first
Yeah.
one led like it had a story, but it let you fill in a lot of the gaps. Like it never
But
really
they didn't make.
delved into.
No,
yeah.
see, but that's the thing. Because it was a minimalistic story, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not a solid story. Because I
But
think
they didn't.
the most important aspect of Portal was how they told the story.
They didn't make the first one with the second one in mind, did they?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
There wasn't
Portal was bundled with Team Fortress 2 and it was
Half-Life Episode 2, wasn't it?
yeah, Half-Life Episode 1 or
no,
Episode 2, one
with
of them.
Portal 1, there wasn't so much story. There was a lot of plot to the game. This happened and this happened and this happened, but it didn't really explain to you why.
Yeah.
And I mean that totally worked. That was fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think yeah.
But yeah, no, there wasn't a major push in story until number 2, where they expanded the world and the characters and why everything happened.
Even then, it's still very secluded. It was yeah, pretty much confined to its own world.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, with
very
number
small world.
It was perfectly
Yeah.
brilliant. I mean, Portal was a 2-hour, 3-hour game. Like you
Yeah.
could easily finish it in one sitting, and it was great because it didn't get itself hung up on telling you plot point. Each part of the story was interwoven into your test chambers, and you experienced the story from the first person perspective, and it was really engaging because it wasn't the main focus. They were like, oh, we've got this really great idea for a puzzle game, and then they've worked their story around the mechanics.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. And I thought that was
yeah.
I thought that is the epitome of great storytelling. Being able to combine all aspects of your game to come together to help you tell a story, and for your story to help explore the gameplay and open it up. It can't just be more like an RPG focusing more on the story and then just having really basic mechanics. It's got to be a good combination of both.
I can agree with that in the sense that it was a game and
I can agree.
I played it and I enjoyed it. There we go. There you go.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think with Chronic Conundrum, I think she just is Kim a guy or girl, by the way?
Is who?
Kim Swift.
No idea. Absolutely no idea.
Listen, that
Well,
you're
I'm gonna
really
say-
excited about it's taking part in the production of this game.
I'm saying Kim is just wanted to do her own thing.
No, see, and it's not even about the fact that she worked on Portal and she broke away to make a game that looks like Portal. That's her own thing. I mean, it's got its own mechanics. It's a first-person puzzle game. I mean, if you break any game down to its base elements, it's going to be like another video game.
That's true. That's true.
So I mean, it's all about how the game chooses to separate itself, or how the game separates itself from other games. That's what's
Yeah.
important.
Well, I mean, when you really break it down, every single game can't just be, a polygon and a square and a triangle with a mechanic. But because of the art style, it isn't. Because of
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the art style and the direction and the story that people want to tell, they make that polygon into a character, or they make this room into, a certain setting. So that's how games differentiate themselves. And some do it better than others.
Yeah, so it's a very there's got to be a like I said before, there's got to be a really big balance of how you want to tell your story because you can't just um and I'm gonna go back to a game like Skyrim once again. Have like I enjoy the universe, but the amount of like reading that there was, and if I wanted to learn more, it was all like I had to sift through all this really boring stuff to get to it. So it's really important for a game if they want to engage a player, they have to figure out a way to engage the player by using gameplay instead of making them work to want to know more.
Well, then again, I mean, with Skyrim, I tried to simulate a world, and in a real world, there would be history books and stuff. I can see why you would enjoy the way they did it in Portal 2, because, it was still with humor, and it was all audio logs, or hearing,
No, but you see,
someone speaking over the loudspeaker.
you know me. I mean, if a game can tell me a good story and makes it enjoyable for me to hear that story, I'll love that game forever, And Diablo 3 is a great example of this, where you can you can look for these little books everywhere, and it's not like you have to kind of go out of your way to try and find them sometimes, but then they give you this audio voiceover that tells you a little bit more about the history of the world, or and you can re-access those.
Yeah, but again, would you feel the same way if instead of audio, it was just a book? Like it was the exact same
honestly,
context, but
I probably wouldn't read it. I haven't. I don't think I've read one thing in Diablo 3.
okay.
Even if I wanted to know more about it, I wouldn't go into the game and then go out of my way to watch it because it would just disengage me a little bit too much.
Hmm.
Because I just go, another book. I might read that later because I want to keep on playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so fair enough.
Jake, you say things now.
I was just watching the Dishonored trailer, the gameplay trailer.
Dishonored.
It's
Um,
looking good.
The new one?
It's looking like Assassin's Creed BioShock.
Yeah. I enjoyed the fact for like a previous discussion of the podcast how it looked like all these other games because of the new trailer where they have that little girl singing that song. It now reminds me of Dead Space
Yeah.
where they had
the
that little
Twinkle
girl.
Twinkle trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The creepy. God.
I enjoy steampunk as a setting, which is
But-
which is one of the only reasons why I watched Wild Wild West. Everything else in that film, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Will Smith playing a black cowboy in the Old West. Something seems a little bit wrong there for me. No,
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
it's,
Given the times, would not have gone down that way.
yeah, no.
That
It would
move.
be
My
awful.
point is, Wild Wild West as a documentary is inaccurate.
Well, I mean, no, there were giant mechanical spiders. They just weren't around in that time. Um,
I always love Wild Wild West. I'm a big Will Smith fan. Anyway,
I know. Yeah.
distracted. But,
Yeah, no, I always enjoy a good steampunk setting where everything is always, steam everywhere, even in stuff that doesn't need steam, like an automatic like coffee pouring device with steam, or
wait, would there be steam coming from the coffee once it poured itself out?
I'm not. Hey, if you want to make one, by all means, take out the patent on the blueprint. I won't buy it because I have wrist and I can pour my own coffee. But yeah, I enjoy a good steampunk setting, and this game has a very interesting kind of steampunky feel. So I will give it a try, despite. Yeah.
I think it looks very generic at this point in time. I
I kind
watched
of agree.
it, and the CGI trailer looked great, and they are the devil.
The same thing that I have a feeling the same thing's going to happen to me that happened with Singularity. It looked really like a really good idea at first, and then I played it, and it was just really boring.
Yeah, I kind of feel
It
like
had nothing.
They're gonna go through with all these mechanics, and I don't know until I play it, and I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. But at this point in time, I'm actually less interested than I was when I originally heard the concept for the game. Like the setting's fine and the mechanics are all there. It's all going to be about execution. Like a few of the scenes where he's jumping off the buildings and attacking people with the knives. Like they kind of reminded me of the Hunter in Left 4 Dead 2, playing as the Hunter. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really enjoyed that because it was all like, ooh, I got to be stealthy and jump off a roof and, pounce on that guy while he's sort of away from all the, like that sort of stealth. But the thing is, if I'm going to go ahead and do it in Dishonored, even though it's from a completely different game, am I going to feel like I've been there and done this before? So it's kind of like a Frankenstein of all these other. It'll be like a Frankenstein of all these other video games.
Yeah.
Like if it turns out to be like that, and Bethesda's just there waiting for a lightning storm, and just it lives and it just rises. I hope it is not as generic as it looks, but it's gonna take a little bit more to impress me now. But I look forward to seeing. That's right. Some guy in the middle of no one cares Australia, Bethesda. I'm calling you out.
Actually, though,
Impress me.
Throw down that glove. Throw it down.
I just read one of the comments, and the first three words, a new IP, that's a very good point. It's hard to find new IP around these days.
It's not hard to find a new IP. It's hard to find a good new IP.
Well, it's becoming scarcer because there's many more sequels coming out than there used to be.
Yeah, no, there are plenty of new IPs. It's just with a AAA studio, they usually try to keep it safe. So
Yeah.
with the big budget, multi-million-dollar games, they try. Yeah, they go for what works. Usually sequels or threequels. But I mean, there are plenty of new IPs and
there are plenty of great
indie
sequels.
games. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Great sequels exist, like Witcher 2, much better than the first one. Terminator 2, much better than the first one. Not a video game, but still the same principle. But a new IP doesn't necessarily need to, if you're going to make it, like Assassin's Creed 2 to Assassin's Creed 1, just because they're making a sequel isn't necessarily going to be a bad thing because it's still going to come down to the same point. How are you going to make this different? And how are you gonna, re-interest the player in the same franchise?
Well, I mean, look, I'm on Steam right now. The top-selling games: Max Payne 3, Saints Row the Third, Arma 2, Civ 5, Elder Scrolls 5, Sword of the Stars 2, Quantum Conundrum. All right.
So Quantum Conundrum is the first new IP non-sequel game on there.
Yeah. Torchlight 2. The Hitman game, the new one, which is probably the fifth
Absolution.
one. Yeah, the fifth one, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Crisis 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Top. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. It is, like I said, though, for a big budget studio, it is a big risk to have a new IP. And if it tanks, I mean, like for instance, what was that fantasy game that came out? Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yeah.
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 I mean it sold okay. But for the amount of money spent in that game, the studio is now bust. That's what happens when a new IP doesn't take
Go
off.
well, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no. See, it did okay, but just for the amount of money they spent on it, which I find ludicrous. I think it was like $70 million or something like that. I don't know. I think so. Don't quote me on that. It could have been much less or much more.
Well, Andy,
Off the
unless
top
you
of my
give
head.
me exact facts, I'm just going to disregard everything you say.
$20 and a packet of Lay's chips. That's the budget they were working with.
That is brilliant.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's hard to make a really good AAA game that doesn't take a risk.
I can't even remember the last new IP I played, to be honest.
Goodness.
Yeah, exactly. It's a toughie. I mean, I'm at the moment I'm playing Diablo 3,
Yeah.
Dota 2, and I've got my copy of Max Payne 3, which I'll be getting later on this week.
I think with me it would have been Legend of Grimrock. Well, no, yeah, it's a new
That was
IP.
actually since we're talking about that game, because I haven't played it, but I've seen that's the one they brought back, that old school dungeon crawling.
Yeah, it's grid-based.
Yeah,
It's
grid-based. And
yeah.
I thought that was a brilliant idea. I've actually been more interested to play it since seeing some gameplay footage.
Oh yeah, it's good fun.
So yeah, you thought it was pretty good?
I liked it. I really did. I mean, I like the fact that it's just such a big contrast compared to most other RPG games and
Yeah.
sword and sorcery games out there. It doesn't try to create this massive detailed world.
Yeah, I think
It it focuses on gameplay
yeah,
and it's very
points
upfront about what it is.
points
Yeah.
for the developer. I mean, revitalizing an old formula is not
Yeah.
something that's easy to do. Like a lot of people can try to do it, but it's not as easy as it looks to go, okay, how are we going to make this appealing to a completely new audience who's just going to be like, yeah, why?
Yeah. Well, plus, I mean, it doesn't have the same visual flair as other,
Yeah.
like compared to like Dragon Age or even Kingdoms of Amalur or Skyrim. These fantasy games have these big, expansive worlds.
Yeah.
With this game, yeah, it's mainly you walking around very similar looking
It's kind of
hallways.
like dating a girl with a great personality.
That
I'm
you,
not
you know
following.
what? Yeah. Well, I'd stick my dick in Kingdoms of Amalur, and I would stick my dick in Legend of Grimrock.
Exactly, that's my point. I mean,
But yeah, I
that's
would.
my point.
I, mm.
Doesn't
Well,
doesn't it doesn't need to look
Legend of
great.
Grimrock
But...
is definitely cheaper on Steam, so I'd probably pick that over Kingdoms of Amalur.
So wait, you're saying you'd date a cheap girl?
I'd fuck a cheap girl.
Andy, Andy, please. You're embarrassing yourself in front of the internet.
That's never been done before.
You
On
touched
internet
on
first.
you touched on Hitman Absolution before, and
I did.
moving back to game trailers. Hitman
yeah.
Absolution, CGI trailer, the devil, but I am
Yeah.
excited to get back into that franchise.
Yeah, see,
Can you
with the
explain that trailer to me? Like what
Well,
happened?
okay.
Because my internet's been crap, so I haven't been able to watch much.
Okay. Basically, this hitman, and he's in a hotel room, and he's, because he's a hitman, gets
The
into a lot of
Agent
fights. As you do.
47.
Agent 47, yeah. He's patching himself up. Then the camera cuts to a group of nuns coming off a bus. Cuts back to Hitman. He's still, getting dressed, etc., etc. Cuts back to the nuns.
They pull
take
out
off,
guns. What?
They take off the black nun dresses, and they're wearing various revealing, skin-tight leather outfits. And they have big old guns, big old pea shooters.
And then they have weapons.
Yeah, they got those. They got those as well. Where were they hiding them? We are never told. We
Can only imagine.
Yeah, we can only imagine where the weapons were kept.
But yes,
Yeah, then they approach Hitman's.
one of them has a rocket launcher.
Yeah, they approach Hitman's room. Then the one with the rocket launcher shoots the rocket launcher at the room with the Hitman in it. But what's this? He's a Hitman. He wasn't in there. Then he proceeds to brutally fight and kill them. Ta-da.
And then he
Excellent.
drives off in a car. And then everybody
Yeah.
goes, I want to play Hitman.
Spectacular.
See, a lot of people were upset about the trailer, and I can see why, because it's very
Because
actiony and over the top.
Also,
That's
nuns religion, that kind of thing.
No, not that at all.
Really?
No, no.
I was surprised.
No.
I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised that nobody gives a shit about that.
No,
I don't
it's-
care, but it
it's
kind of
very-
seems like the thing where they'll be like, you can't do that. Nuns are important to
You know what?
God.
There probably was, but no one cares. If you want to see a game that really doesn't care for a religion, the new Binding of Isaac expansion, that was a big old
Ooh, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no, a lot of people were upset with the new Hitman trailer because it seems that Absolution is gravitating more towards action instead of stealth. And the other games have plenty of action as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can see why they're angry. I don't know if the amount of anger that
From
I remember-
memory, a few of the missions in because I played Hitman 2 when I was a bit younger. A few of the missions pretty much ended with you just having to shoot your way out of
Yeah.
somewhere. Like you'd
Yeah.
take a stealthy approach, and then they'd be like, "Oh shit, there's an assassin. He assassinated that guy. Should probably kill the assassin." And I'm like, "Yep, got guns. Better shoot some more people."
Yeah, I always
Because
found it
I'm a
weird that
hitman.
in the Hitman games, whenever you complete an objective correctly or a mission correctly, you get rewarded with new guns. But if you want to get a perfect assassin rating on a mission, you would never use any of those explosive, highly powerful guns
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
It was a really it's like, huh, so I need to be stealthy to complete the mission, and then
Yeah.
you give me more guns. that
Yeah.
I am not supposed to use.
Yeah, but I know when the trailer was posted on the YouTube,
The
uh,
YouTube.
yeah, a lot of people in the comments were just, just flinging absolute shit at IO Interactive. Like, I think the first comment was basically, "I hope this game tanks and IO Interactive closes down. God, I hate them." Again,
I
like
think it looks awesome. You know,
I,
he's a
yeah,
hitman. Hitman's and they were attacking him, so I mean, it kind of makes sense. And
it's that no, it's not like he killed these women unprovoked. No, we get
no,
why
I
he
meant,
killed them.
I mean, in the sense of like the action in the trailer is justified. So I
No,
mean,
it's the no, it's the
it's an
action.
explosive trailer, both literally and
Yeah.
figuratively,
See, I'm thinking I'll probably put that trailer out because yeah, it'll generate a lot of,
and it's
and it
awesome.
has. Yeah, I mean it's the Hitman games have always been a little bit more like they never try to be hardcore, realistic, stealthy games. There was a lot of stealth in them if you want there to be,
Yeah,
but they've always been a bit more
they
theatrical.
they
I
kind
know
of
in
went
number
for
three,
they
there you
went
go.
for that Deus Ex formula, where they gave you all the tools to have different approaches to each mission, and then how you approach the mission is up to you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, if you wanted to go and just shoot everything, you could. You get a shitty rating, but you definitely could. Um, but if you wanted to, yeah, sneak around and change disguises or whatever, you could do that as well.
Hide dead bodies, etc.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'm assuming with this trailer, yeah, they put out the action trailer first so people would see it and be like, "Oh, wow, that looks cool." But a lot of people saw that and thought, "Oh no, this studio is basically turning the stealth game into an action game." Those fuckers, which I don't think is,
I don't
yeah.
know. Look, it happened with Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, but that was the exact same studio with the exact same person in charge. This is a new studio, from what I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Plus, I don't know, Square Enix is involved.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing though?
It's a bad thing.
Is
Oh,
it
well,
though? Square Enix aren't that bad.
look at it this way: IO Interactive is the same studio that made Kane and Lynch too.
Oh God. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
man, that was
Yeah. Yeah.
that was a terrible game.
Yeah. Jake, any input? You've been kind of quiet for a while.
I haven't played any Hitman games, so
You're wrong.
yeah, yeah. Anything I say is irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, what do you want from a Hitman game? Being a
Yeah,
new player
actually,
who hasn't played them.
Um,
Yes,
I,
quite.
I like the idea of stealth,
All right.
and I just yeah. If I enjoyed the game, if I was already a fan of the series, I'd say I hope they don't take away from that, like you guys were saying.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't have much else to say about it, though, really.
I think it's you can't judge by a CGI trailer. Give me a
Oh, no.
gameplay
No.
trailer, and
There
then
was a gameplay trailer actually. It was released a while ago, and a lot of people also reacted poorly to that because it was much more actiony than previous games, and there was also pathing in the trailer,
Yeah.
which showed you how to go. But I think IO came out and said this is like one of the first missions, and it's more of a setup, so it's not how the rest of the game will play, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But I think the reaction to this trailer is a kind of build up from what happened to the reaction of the previous trailer. People
Well,
aren't
someone-
happy.
If someone hasn't played it before, I'll probably buy this.
See, I think actually this this is
enough.
actually a good point.
You'll go with your money.
This is that line where I draw, and it's going. You know, people with their own. They kind of feel like they want a specific game this way, but the developing studio is like, well, no, we're going to take it this way. I think people are judging a bit too early. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
It's it kind of comes down to that a lot of not a lot of gamers, but a certain amount of gamers they just feel like the game studios owe them something, and it's kind of like, well, no, you haven't paid any money. Like it's kind of like if I pay money for a game and then the studio like if I pay money for a game before it's made, and then the studio's gone, okay, it's going to be a stealth game, and you know you got to be stealthy, kill your characters, and then I give them money. Okay, like okay, you can give me that when you make it, and then like they're about to release it and go, oh yeah, it's now an action game with monkeys. And I just go, well, hang on, whoa, I was expecting this. I've paid you. Nobody's done that yet. You don't have to buy the game. They're trying to appeal to a specific audience, and that's how they'll tailor their game. I think it's too early to judge.
It's yeah, no, for the reaction that it's gotten, it's the reaction is far too strong for what we've seen. But I can understand why people will be upset. I mean, and I do believe that
Like franchise
as
fans, they
yeah.
yeah, I can understand how they would be upset, but it's a bit much, you know.
Well,
Yeah, then
the game
again,
video
yeah.
games as a medium are very intimate, so like, it's very understandable why people think they're entitled to things.
Yes, exactly. You let the video game inside of your house,
You
and
literally
then
control what happens in a game. It's by definition an intimate experience.
Definitely.
I let Final Fantasy 13 into my house, and it raped me. It raped me and everything that I
Did
love.
you
No,
call
yeah,
the
that's right.
police?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I understand why. Like, if it was a new IP, then the reaction wouldn't be quite as strong because no one's emotionally invested. But I mean, I've played previous Hitman games and I've really enjoyed them. So have plenty of other people.
Sometimes as
So
well, a new studio can give a new perspective on an old franchise, you know?
definitely, no, definitely. Plus, I mean, gameplay has to evolve. But what a lot of people feel could happen, whether it does, it doesn't, I don't know. It's too early to tell. But they feel that yeah, the original concept of Hitman will be removed. It'll be something else, something new, something that they're not happy with. And I think that's a legitimate complaint. And I do believe a studio, when it picks up an existing IP, does it actually owe gamers something? I mean, if they improve on certain aspects, fine. But as long as they improve on the aspects, they don't, replace them with something
But you
else.
can't really tell until you get your hands on the game.
Oh no, no, of course.
That's the point. So it's kind of like, you know, I like you see a trailer, like you see a trailer for a movie and you go, "Oh, that doesn't appeal to me." And I'm not going to watch it. And then, you know, for whatever reason, you end up going and seeing it, and it's a lot better than you originally. Well, okay, let's play. Then your girlfriend. Hey, you don't have a girlfriend. But
You
anyway.
set that entire thing up just to say that, didn't you?
No,
This
no.
entire
Okay,
podcast was done just so you could say
this
that.
isn't even going to be published.
Uh,
No, but okay, so you know, you go with your family, you go with your partner, or whatever. They go, I want to see this movie, and you end up going to see it, and it turns out it's better than you thought it was going to be.
yeah,
That's the point we're at. You know, these are the trailers. We don't know until we get to see the real thing.
yeah,
Things could go better than expected.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I understand why people were reacting based on the gameplay footage and that CGI trailer. But yeah, it's also with everything on the internet because you have millions of people commenting on one thing.
Yeah.
And every single person could just be commenting, oh, I don't really approve of this because there's so much of it. It feels like everyone, is outside the IO interactive studio with pitchforks and knives. Burn them. We have to kill them. If we kill them, then they'll make a good Hitman game. Yeah, yeah, what that guy said. Let's do it. Yeah.
So they're gonna lynch IO Studios.
If
That.
you go on the Hitman CGI trailer YouTube page, yes, I'm I'm willing to bet money that someone has
Okay,
proposed
no,
this.
we'll do that afterwards. We'll comment on that, and then we'll say, camp outside the IO Studios with pitchforks and torches, and then they'll change the game. However many likes it gets is how good an idea it is,
Yeah,
and it's from 1 to 7 billion scale.
it's easy. It's easy to use. I like that.
Yeah. Speaking of trailers that make me hopeful for games, that was the worst segue I could have possibly done. But
And yet, it was also the
Well,
best you could have ever done.
yeah, I'm not very good at them. Tomb
Yeah.
Raider gameplay trailer. Hallelujah! It looks brilliant. I am excited. I am back on the bandwagon, and I'm gonna be hurt again, probably.
Yeah.
But
I like the
the
idea.
it's not going to
Crossroads
be the
trailer.
same.
Was that Jake?
I'm saying don't let it in.
No,
It's gonna
it's never
gonna
gonna be
hurt
the
you.
same. But I was very disappointed with the last few games.
Yeah.
On Underworld, Anniversary, and Legend. I thought, yeah, you know, it's good, but a few of them, like the gameplay, it didn't feel right. Like I understand that they sort of simplified the controls and made it a little bit easier to play, but it didn't feel right, and there's a lot more action. Personally, on a smaller note, I think some of the enemies took way too many bullets to take down, and it just felt like puzzling and exploration kind of took a back seat to the action aspect of those
Of course
games.
it did.
And I mean,
There's a modern audience we're talking about.
not even not so much Anniversary because that was pretty much a remake of the first one, so there was a little bit more in that. But definitely Underworld and Legend, they sort of tried to tell the story more. And honestly, I want to see Tomb Raider go back to puzzling and adventure. That's what I loved. And then occasionally you'd have to kill a T-Rex because.
Occasionally, yeah, of course.
Well, in Tomb Raider
Of
3,
course.
that was probably one of my favorite parts because you'd just be like walking through the jungle. Yep, solve this puzzle. And then just cutscene like, what's going to happen? T-Rex out of nowhere. Just, shit. And basically the only thing you could do was run across quicksand. And then die. And
Well, I like the direction the new trailer looks to be taking the game in, where Lara Croft seems very vulnerable and very weak, and has to fight off physical enemies as well as the environment and that kind of stuff.
yeah, and
But at the same time, that trailer looks nothing like the biggest amount of fan fuel for like sexual sadists. It's just, oh my god.
why must you ruin the things I love?
Well,
Is this about the no girlfriend
It's got
comment?
an injured woman in pain walking around grunting, and then there's a guy who like almost rapes her, and then she gets attacked by a wild dog, and there's blood and pain, and oh my god. I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, because I kind of get the feeling I'm not 100% sure on this because so I'm a little bit tentative to say it, but it kind of feels like they're rebooting the franchise from the start because it's a young Lara Croft fighting against the odds. Like you said, she's vulnerable, so it's kind of like that like Tomb Raider 1 to 4 when she's just like this badass,
Yeah.
protagonist
It's
who's like, yeah, dis bitches, acquire currency.
What they're doing
etc.
with this game is the equivalent to what they did with Baby Looney Tunes. They're taking it back to the beginning.
I hate you. There is nothing good about what you are. Yes. There is nothing good about what you are.
It's
you,
exactly like
Andy.
Baby Looney Tunes, with the sexual sadism and the bleeding woman and the
Everything.
dead.
Everything.
Yeah.
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 And yeah, I do remember Baby Looney Tunes having several satanic looking rituals.
Yes.
They did.
You have a very good memory for someone who must have, I'm assuming, watched that show when they were very young, and/or yesterday.
But no, I mean, and the best part about it, it's gameplay footage. It's all in-game footage. We can tell the engine is looking great. The environments are very beautifully rendered. And I look forward to seeing more from E3 because I'll be demoing it at E3.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be looking forward to seeing some more trailers and hopefully some in-game footage because they'll be showing off what they've done. But I think the one thing, I mean, Crystal Dynamics, because basically Tomb Raider has gone between two different developer studios. So it's Core Design, Crystal Dynamics, and no, 3 actually, and didn't Eidos Interactive or whatever.
Idios. I gotta be honest. I'm not as big a Tomb Raider fan as you, so
I'm gonna say
I'm going
it
by
was.
your gospel.
I'm gonna go say it was because
Okay.
what's the worst that could happen?
Oh.
I'm either wrong or right. There's only two options.
Well, if you're incorrect, you could be fired from the podcast by yourself.
You're right.
You'll re-listen to this thinking, "Wow, this fucker really
Okay,
isn't
I'll-
a true Lara Croft fan."
I'll allow it.
Oh,
But
excellent.
so they pretty much rotated between these 3 design studios, and like it was kind of the companies who published them. It was just like, Crystal Dynamics, you made whoever made Angel of Darkness, like Crystal Dynamics, yeah, it's pretty bad game. We're going back to Core, and then Core would make a really shitty game. Like, no, we're going back to Crystal. Like, I'm pretty sure between all of the games, it's only those 2 real studios. Maybe Eidos was the publisher. I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
In hindsight, maybe we should look this up. But in hindsight, that's a stupid idea.
In hindsight, I just remember saying, Tomb Raider, there's a trailer. I didn't really have 100% idea of what I was going to talk about when it came around. That's right. We are nothing but prepared, folks.
Oh yeah.
Jake, what do you know about Tomb Raider?
Very little. I remember one of my relatives, I think it was one of my uncles, playing it when I was about 4, and that's about it. But I do remember it being a very platform-intensive experience, which I can respect.
Mad props,
That's it.
yo.
Yeah.
There we go. Quality input. Quality
Yeah.
input.
But yeah, no, it
I don't have a
looks,
PlayStation, so yeah.
it looks good. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance has a release date now. I'm excited
Oh.
for that. That's another thing.
Cool.
We're just going to talk about things I like now.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
I like.
It's just like real life.
Okay, I like cake, chocolate, mud cake. Hopefully that'll be at E3. I love cake.
It's,
Um,
they'll wheel it out during the Nintendo conference.
Vanilla Coke, the Avengers, and the word Revengeance. So basically, Konami have taken my favorite word and put it in the subtitle of a game.
Good segue.
It was fine until you pointed it out. Ruin everything.
Have to give credit where it's due, even if that credit ruins that thing.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance has a release date. It is set, well, not a release date, but a release period, and it is early 2013. And Konami will be showing it off at E3. Jake,
Excellent.
you love the word Revengeance.
No, I don't.
I'm pretty sure you do.
No.
I'm not paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure I remember you going, you know what's a great word, Josh? And I was all like, 'cause I was eating cake, so I just stopped eating and look up at you with like crumbs dripping from my mouth. And then you just go, Revengeance. Revengeance is a good word. And then I nod and go back to shoving cake in my mouth.
Were you
I'm
high?
I just like cake and I'm fat. What are these are two things.
Both those things that he just said now are incredibly true. So the sentence beforehand must have also been true, given his record of being honest.
I do have a track record of being honest.
Yeah, there we go.
They call me Honest Frank, but I'm not going to tell them that my name's not Frank. So it's kind of ironic, really.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But yeah, I'm I'm looking forward to Metal Gear because it's Metal Gear.
Apparently, though, I was because I just wrote an article for Novity, Novity.com. The
Shameless
website.
plug. Shameless plug.
I am shameless, so I'm continuing. We all write for it. www.novity.com. Check it out. Yeah, I remember writing an article for it, and apparently they're sort of the reason why they dropped Solid from the title was to distance itself from the old series because they're focusing on different aspects of stealth, and it's going to be a more action-oriented game, which is great because you're a ninja, and it's kind of like I like the idea of being able to stalk my prey and then just absolutely just owning them tactically from the
That's
shadows.
why you're looking forward to the new rapey version of Lara Croft.
Because I like ninjas.
Close. But that wasn't the thing that you said that I was aiming for.
Is this about cake?
Yes.
Okay.
It's about the crumbs dripping out of your mouth. No, yeah, no, it's Hideo Kojima is
Crazy.
yes, but he wasn't fully happy with doing this one, was he? He was like,
I don't think he's even really worked all that much on this one. I think he's
Yeah.
more just because it's Kojima Productions. So I think that's the only reason. That's the only part of him that I think has really had a lot of input in this game.
that line in the credits.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's had input and good influence on it, but I don't think he's worked a lot directly to that. Once again, I mean, not 100% sure on my facts, but I think I remember reading something like that, and I'm pretty sure he was doing the press conference for Konami. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because Kojima Productions is his studio and they're developing the title, so yeah, he also said as well that he's very excited because the new Fox engine apparently absolutely top notch. Haven't seen a lot of it yet, but it is going to be the engine that they're going to be using to render all their games moving onwards until they come up with something better.
Ooh, there you go.
Definitely. It's going to be used for the next Pro Evolution Soccer title as well, which is which is as yet unannounced.
But I think we can all. No, we can't. Never mind.
Yeah, this is. I mentioned something that only I care about, and
Well, I think I'm pretty sure if we listen to the previous podcast, we have mentioned Solid. The new
Revengeance.
Yeah, Revengeance. We have mentioned it. I think Pretty much in all of them. Maybe not the last one, but apart from that, all of
No, I'm
them.
pretty sure I said the word revengeance at some point.
Yeah, you probably did.
I love that word so
Yeah, you
much.
really do. Oh man. Um,
Sweet. Okay, talking about sweep cybernetic robots. Cybernetics. Hawken trailer, live action trailer.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for the game. Not a fan of the live action trailer.
Yeah.
Live action trailers are kind of shit.
I really like Hawken as an idea. I just like mechs. I like the idea of mechs because out of playing I play a lot of video games, obviously.
Wait,
And out of
what? No.
no, it's true, it's true. And out
Andy,
of all the
please.
video games that I play, I can't physically see myself doing it because, fat and stupid and can't really do a lot apart from play video games. But
It's
I could
catering
easily
directly to your
see I
skills.
could easily see myself piloting a giant robot. I could see myself doing that.
You're the Porkins of giant mechs.
I am the Porkins of giant mechs. It doesn't matter that he was flying a starfighter.
X-wing.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Yeah, I can see myself doing that, which is why
And
mechs appeal
you
to
know
me.
what? Since the days of Mech Warrior 2 and Gun Griffin, I have been pining for a great mech game. And Hawken looks absolutely beautiful, and it looks like a hell of a lot of fun.
That's what it actually is. Wouldn't it suck if it comes out and it's not fun? Oh,
Oh, that is literally the most disappointed I would ever be of this year in terms of video games.
what if Lara Croft bombs?
Nah, see, I wouldn't be all that disappointed because part of me would just deep down go, you know what, I expected this. But Hawken, I mean, they've been working on it for so long now, and I mean, I knew about it like middle of last year. And I've been signed up for the beta as soon as, they were taking, applications for beta. So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to playing a good mech game, and everything points to it's good, but if it's, Armored Core 5 that kind of bombed. That was like the last mech game, and I remember playing it like briefly, and going, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm also excited for what is it, Mech Warrior Online.
Is that it's more of a strategy, isn't it? It's the strategy aspect of
I wouldn't say strategy. I haven't seen. I watched some gameplay footage. It's still fairly,
Mech Warrior-ish.
yeah, Mech Warrior-ish. Yeah,
Jake, how do you feel about robots?
Robots are cool.
Yeah, they are.
they're
Yeah.
smartest thing I've heard all day.
It actually is.
Yeah.
It's been a slow day.
No. Really exciting day. It's just that tops it all. Fuck yeah, robots.
If
But
you
yeah, robots. I'll pay. I'll get game with robots. I'll pay for it. Like many other things.
if you could choose to be a robot, which robot would you be?
Which
All of
robot
them.
I would be?
Yeah,
You
no,
go
it's kind of
Yeah.
tough. I think I'd be like, does it necessarily need to be? Oh, okay. Actually, I asked the question, so I asked the question so I can set the rules. Yeah.
Okay.
See, I thought this one through. So, like, you're either the robot, a la like Terminator or RoboCop.
The T-800.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
you're the pilot of the mech suit. Like, they kind of we're going one and the same. Like,
Wait, so can I get out of the mech?
yeah. So you'd be the pilot of.
So if I have to like take a dump, I can leave the mech. I can do that?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
what if you had a toilet in the mech? You could like make it like a multi-purpose.
Yeah, I
mech.
could, couldn't I? Come like
Oh,
It-
what?
I-
You can
I'd be
come
like
up
one
with
of the
giant laser
astronauts in the
sword.
suit.
You can come with giant laser sword, but you
I
can't
don't know.
put a
It's
toilet
your
inside a mech.
hypothetical. It's your hypothetical. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me.
You have a mini bar.
No, see,
Oh.
I'd definitely move towards like I'd like to be the pilot of the Gundam from Gundam Seed. Be pretty cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Sweet
do that.
They're pretty
swords.
wicked.
Yeah.
I would like to be a pilot, but I want to pilot the Power Rangers robot.
The Megazord.
Yeah, for no reason that
But then you have to. It'd be way too much work because you have to do the job of like 5 people, or do you have like five?
fuck.
Do you appoint like 5?
I hire a
specific
team of
people?
5 people.
Okay, who would your
Yeah.
team of 5 people be? Billy Connolly.
No, because it's if it's my hypothetical, here's what I just get mannequins. I would get mannequins and dress them up,
So you
and
would.
I'd put them in
So
the.
you wouldn't hire 5 people.
Oh no, see, but that's the thing, because like if I'm battling with someone else, right? We would like have like an intercom video thing, and they would zoom in like, oh shit, there's 5 people there. Not really, just one guy and 4 really well-dressed mannequins. Because I would dress them from the clothing in my wardrobe, and they'd get intimidated and scared, and I'd win.
That. I think
Genius, I know.
I think you just made me stupid.
I probably have. And you know what? Good, because if we go into a battle against each other with giant mechs, you'll be dumber, and I can, ace you with my mad skills at piloting a mech.
I regret
I've
asking
never,
this
I've
question.
never piloted a mech before.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't just say RoboCop straight off the bat. You love RoboCop
I do love RoboCop, but I don't want
You
to
don't
be
wanna-
RoboCop.
because you don't want to get your shit shot off like this at the
You-
very start of the movie.
You know what? Yeah, that's part of it. That's definitely a part of the reason
It's
why I
definitely-
don't want to be RoboCop.
What about Data? I would never mind being Data.
I would like to be C-3PO because really on the
You're
inside I
oddly
feel like
camped.
I'm incredibly camp and golden. I feel like C-3PO on the inside, you know?
Empty and hollow, filled with
Gay,
moving parts.
gay,
Ah.
Yeah.
Snap.
snap,
I see what
snap.
you did. Jake, a robot.
I don't know. I'm too headachy and tired
Okay,
to
we're,
think.
we're moving
You-
on.
Okay.
Good idea.
Side to the galaxy. That's who you'd be.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be Marvin. Yeah,
yeah.
there you go.
Okay. Star Wars 1313, Bounty Hunters. But apparently it's not Boba Fett. Might be
Yeah.
Boba Fett, but
I'm-
apparently it's not Boba Fett.
Well, they haven't said Boba Fett yet.
It should be Boba Fett.
I hope so, but who knows?
Because they had a Jango Fett got a game. Where's Boba?
The Jango Fett Bounty Hunter game was actually pretty good. You play it?
I feel like I have, but I don't particularly remember it because it was out when I was a bit younger.
So have you or haven't you?
I don't remember. I kind of
Huh.
okay. We'll go with no for the sake of
Okay. It wasn't all that bad.
being a bounty hunter is cool, and being a bounty hunter in the Star Wars universe is even cooler.
I'm really,
I only say that because I'm a professional bounty hunter.
of course, and I'm
Bounty the candy bar, not
you're
I hunt down candy bars for a living.
well, you are brown and delicious.
I am brown and delicious.
Mhm.
Coconut
So-
love.
No, you're filled with coconut.
I am filled with coconut.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm cautiously optimistic.
They
I
haven't-
want it to be good, but LucasArts hasn't really made a lot of stuff for me to be excited about recently.
they yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much a game. You just gotta make a game about being really awesome and sweet.
Again, LucasArts. Again, there's that speed bump. Like, remember when Force Unleashed came out
Oh God.
and everything like looked awesome? Like, yeah, you basically
Yes.
you're Darth Vader's
You're
secret
bringing up.
apprentice.
Stop
We're go-
opening my stitches.
We're gonna let you play as an awesome badass. And then everyone was like, yes. And then it came out, and everyone was like, no. And everyone was unhappy. But it got a sequel. So even if this game is a piece of shit, still gonna get a sequel.
Oh God, Force Unleashed. Man, there were so many things right about that game, and there's a lot of things wrong about that game.
There's a lot of things wrong with that game.
I enjoyed playing the game. I enjoyed the combat because
Okay, but did you enjoy it because it was a Star Wars setting, or did you actually enjoy it because the game was fun?
I enjoyed it because it was Star Wars, and I got to throw a lightsaber and impale
There you
people
go.
and
There you go.
use my Force powers. But no, you see, that's the thing. They got that right, which is a plus. Like
It was Star Wars.
I felt like a badass Sith. Yes, they got the fact that it was Star Wars and that it had characters from Star Wars.
Well,
That's
I'm
it.
happy that, yeah, they sell it as a Star Wars game. You boot it up, Battlestar Galactica. Oh, fuck.
It's like the 1960s Lost in Space, and You're just there like, no. No, actually, no, even better, like a robot just walks in the room and you're just danger, danger. Every time anyone plays that, it's just, Force Unleashed looks good. Boots it up, lost in space, just comes up on the screen, the robot busts in, just danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Well, you know what the amount of
For those of
money...
you not spying on my secret webcam, I'm doing the robot movements as well.
See, I pictured you doing that. You and I, we have spent far too much time together.
Because I'm just stupid enough to actually do it.
Is your family looking at you horrified?
I'm away from my family.
Good.
Yes, that it wouldn't surprise
But
me.
but
I've
not
done
just now,
way
like
weirder things.
This isn't just a thing you're doing now. You're usually away from your family. Well, they're away from you.
Yeah, basically, it's the other way around, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with 1313, they're trying to sell it as a slightly more mature game.
Oh god,
That-
here
yeah.
we go.
That could either go one of two ways, right? It could either focus on content, which isn't, just tits and blood and, violence, but actually kind of mature, more entertaining discussion.
You're a bounty hunter who sits there in like a high back chair with just whiskey.
Yes.
I do believe the Jedi-Sith conflict should come to an end.
In all honesty, like if that was actually like touched upon, like the whole why do we people who do not use the Force have to deal with this fucking bullshit all the time?
Because they have lightsabers.
See, I would love to actually see like someone in a Star Wars thing, and it probably has like somewhere in a comic book or a book or somewhere in the extended canon, just someone going on and saying, "What the fuck? Seriously, fuck those guys."
Isn't that what I'm pretty sure C-3PO just subtly does that throughout the entire series.
I don't listen to him. I just kind of zone out.
Isn't there a few times where like R2-D2 is like, oh man, we gotta totally get hang on, sorry, I'm not doing it. Beep boop, beep boop. And
there we go. That's better.
C-3POs are like, nah, man, let's book out this shit cray.
That is true. I remember that.
He's
so urban.
C-3PO is always trying to get away from the trouble and just go, no man, this is their fight. Fuck those guys.
No, but when he says their fight, he means everyone who isn't him. So Golden Gay and Automatus.
I kind of imagine that he should talk like Vincent Price.
That would
C-3PO should have talked like Vincent Price.
Richard Simmons. Yeah, you know what? He actually already kind of does, though. In all honesty. But like if they actually go that was slightly mature, thing that'd be good. Or they may end up doing what Dragon Age did, was basically we're mature, and then everyone's covered in blood, and there's a sex scene, and you're like, whoa! But actually, I feel like an adult.
I've tried to think about this before. I mean, what exactly defines a mature game? Like, what to you would define a mature game?
When they deal, see, when I say I'm about to say when they deal with adult subjects that aren't sex and drugs and violence, but that basically limits it down to. So God damn it, I gotta fill out my tax return.
So essentially, it's just Viva Pinata, but in black and white.
And everyone's smoking, and they have like 1950s hats.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Speaking of which, LA Noire, right?
Yeah.
They dealt with that pretty well. Like I understand.
I would call that a mature game because it deals with the issues of the time without going. Okay, here's some boobs. Mature game, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. It didn't
Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball, anyone?
It didn't glorify violence or hype it up. It just said like this is a thing that happened, and the protagonist of the game called Phelps, a policeman, doesn't like it for obvious reasons. So they take Star Wars and basically there's because the entire game I think is based on Coruscant, is what they said. Like, if there's something that happens on Coruscant, I don't know, like political struggle or gang struggle, whatever, and they're like, all right, they don't over-glorify all the violence. It's just basically a means to an end. It's not hard to necessarily do a mature game. It's very difficult to make one that doesn't feel like it panders.
Yeah.
Like, with Dragon Age, it just felt like it pandered so much, because they sold it so highly. Mature audience, gonna love it. And then just blood and...
I might bring up another example. The Witcher 2. I had like that's kind of a mature game
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
lot of senses because it doesn't necessarily glorify any violence, and it does make you feel like it's kind of you're doing it for a purpose. It's not just they also have swords. You should probably go stab them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm
It's
yeah.
I think it's way too hard to make a mature game, especially
No.
I think I no, and I think it's purely because it's hard to make a mature game because a lot of developers they don't quite get what mature means. So there are mature games like from what I've seen, Max Payne 3, I would define that as a mature game because the storyline itself. I mean, Max Payne and it's like his fall from grace. He's kind of like at the end of his rope, and he's an alcoholic, etc. And it's kind of like he tries to. So I'm pretty sure the game is just sort of he's trying to. It kind of justifies everything that he's doing, and it makes you emote. When the character emotes, you empathize with him, and
Here's what we do, right? You play when the game because you're at the game when it
yeah.
comes, you play it, you record your thoughts on it, then you edit this podcast and just what you've said now replace it with how you feel after you've played it.
No,
All right.
it's too much work.
You don't love your craft at all.
Not particularly.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, Rockstar is actually pretty good at doing like with John Marsden
Yeah,
in Red
actually,
Dead Redemption.
yeah.
I mean, with some of the
It's kind of like
side characters, they're a bit more blown up, like Brucey in Grand Theft
Oh
Auto
god.
4. Yeah, they're a bit more cartoonish. But at this generation, at least, I'm not talking like Tommy Vercetti in Vice City. Although Vice City was fun, but yeah, with
think,
this current generation, they're very good at making
Grand Theft Auto 4
more
and
mature.
Red Dead Redemption, Redemption,
Yeah, Red Dead
Red Dead
Redemption.
Redemption, and LA Noire. I mean, like you said, they're all Rockstar games. I think Rockstar, they found that really good. So you can see they've come a long way from like the senseless violence of like the early Grand Theft Autos to now where they build it into yeah, you can do that, but they don't make it part of a plot line. It's like Grand Theft Auto 4, it gives you all that freedom, and you can shoot people on the street, but it's like a cause and effect. As soon as you do that, you'll get, taken down by police officers. It's kind of they don't glorify it like, say, the contrast would be Saints Row the Third,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
that shit's just, god damn, it's too
Well,
insane.
Again, though, a lot of it has to do with the way the protagonists in those games act. Like I know
Exactly.
Nico in Grand Theft Auto 4, he's very regretful about his past, and he doesn't
Yeah.
want to continue that kind of life in America. Although
Yeah.
he ends up doing it, he's a very tragic character in that respect. Same with Marsden. He used to be in a gang that he doesn't want to be, and Cole Phelps fought in the war, and he wants to. Yeah, so it's the main character. It's how
Yeah.
they act and feel and react to the
I
situations.
think it's definitely a credit to Rockstar that they've gotten to the point where they can develop mature games like that
Yeah.
without calling themselves mature by just adding gratuitous violence and unnecessary
And
sexual
to be fair,
content.
though, there is sometimes every now and then you do get violence or you do get boobs in your face, and a mature game should still have that. If it wants to, if it helps the story, but it
Yeah.
shouldn't focus on that entirely. It should just
We
be.
should call this the giant purple dildo theory. Thank you, Saints Row the Third, you fuckers.
Well,
Seriously, I hated that. I hated the idea of that because it's just like there's a difference between giving you a sandbox and saying you can do whatever you want, and there's no line drawn in that universe, and
yeah,
it all feels senseless.
that's part of the
That's
appeal.
that's my problem. It all
Yeah.
feels senseless.
No, I actually felt the exact same, but I understand why people like it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's to each their own. But personally, I'm calling it out as a very senselessly violent game.
And people would look at you and say, "Yes, that's exactly why I like it," because it's a very like you don't necessarily relate to the main protagonist as you do with, for instance, Grand Theft Auto 4. So the game is more about gameplay and having fun rather than
Also, just like in
Yeah.
Dead Rising 2, it's hard to take any plot points seriously when you're wearing a pink tutu and no shirt
yeah. A lot of
and a brassiere.
Yeah, that game was really. No, I don't want to. No, we're
Yeah,
not getting into
let's
that
stop.
discussion. Yeah.
Stop.
Um, but yeah, so if 1313, that's right, we were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about this.
right.
Yeah,
Star Wars. Yep.
if they can make the main character, deep, well, I say deep, but not be, one-dimensional and have
Yeah, flesh it
interest.
out. You know.
Yeah, pretty much, and flesh the world out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the games like that we mentioned now really juxtaposed the main characters.
Yeah.
So, Marsden didn't want to fall back into the gang, even though that's
Yeah,
kind of
the
what happened.
characters
Yeah.
that the story and the way that the game develops the characters over the course of it, it helps you as a player empathize with them, and
Yeah.
thus drawing your attention more into the story. And I I really feel like a game has done its job, especially in an RPG sense or in like a Grand Theft Auto 4 sense, where they can make me care about the character, and everything that happens is something like it affects me as a player because I go, oh well, that sucked,
Yeah.
you know.
Plus, with those three games that we just listed, LNUR, Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto 4, all of the three protagonists were a bit sappy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they obviously had their moments where they weren't, but overall, they were very tragic, very broken
No,
down
yeah, and you
people.
made this point about Cole Phelps in our last podcast.
Yeah.
The fact that they are all very flawed characters, it makes
Yeah.
them seem more human, or not
Yeah.
more human. It makes them easier to invest in because you can clearly see that they're flawed, and it's kind of like Marsden wants to change his ways, Nico doesn't want to live the same life of crime, and Cole Phelps is, he was a shitty general. He knows it. He doesn't like to talk about it, so he's trying to be a good cop to compensate for his downfalls in his. Yeah.
What rank was he in the army? Was he captain or?
Yeah, no, he was in charge of a unit. So
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact rank, but I know he was in charge of a unit.
For a person who has played so many video games with, military themes, it's kind of embarrassing that I don't know at all, like, ranks and stuff.
I know the names of certain ranks.
He
I don't know
he
what order they
was
go in.
he was a third petty platinum lotus corporal.
Wizard mage.
Wizard mage, there we go.
Got it.
He
Cole Phelps,
specialized
the
in
wizard
fire
mage.
spells. He specialized in fire spells and time travel. Yeah, there we go. Fine. Done.
Ah,
Done.
Okay, moving on to we're gonna just set the scene.
Beautiful segue. Beautiful segue.
New Lord of the Rings games, yay! Lego Lord of the Rings, that is something I'm looking forward to. I love a good Lego game. It's kind of like in the same way that as an adult I can enjoy Pixar movies because it's kind of, they're for kids, but it's like concentrated happiness. Like
I get that. I
and
get
the way, especially the Lego games, the way they just like, I mean, we've got Lego Harry Potter, Lego Star Wars, Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego Lord of the Rings is now coming out. The way they can take the adult themes. I mean, Lord of the Rings is clearly an M movie aimed at adults.
You forgot to list the best Lego game, Lego Soccer. Thank you.
Lego Soccer.
There you
What about Lego Kart Racing?
Oh yeah.
Oh god,
What's
I remember that game.
Oh, there was that Lego game with the mining and the crystals. Google, hold on.
No, I'm not holding on. So basically, they've always had an interesting take on adult themes, and they play it up. It's a bit more childish and it's a bit more humorous, and I've always enjoyed them. I've really enjoyed playing them.
See, I never really got into Lego Rock Raiders. That was the game.
Lego Rock Raiders. Oh god.
Um, I never fully got into Lego games. I don't know. It is just it never appealed to me. Like I get why people like them. And actually, that's a really good point with the Pixar movies. You don't have to be a child to enjoy them because they're great. Even as an
Yeah.
adult. I don't know. I never cared for the Lego games.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
think
know.
It's
I just
most of them really boil down to very simple platforming mechanics and
Yeah.
characters, and you know exactly what to expect because they pretty much all play the same but slightly different. But
Well,
it's kind of like it's just something about it. I think for me personally, because I mean we play a lot of pretty heavy games, and it's kind of it's good every now. It's like just watching nothing but action movies for like a month or like 2 months, and then you know, watching Finding Nemo. It's just it feels different because you know, I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, you have no idea.
I just I had an idea and I lost it. But yeah, no, it's very different to a lot of stuff that I play. So
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy having that. It's a simple not a simple game, but it's an interesting game while at the same time not really heavily taxing on any particular part of me. It's just something I can sit down and enjoy.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I love the visuals of the Lego game. Obviously, it's Lego. What's not to love? Those little fucking
Stepping on them.
those little fucking Swedish bricks. Oh, they're great. But yeah, I feel that again. There's so many Lego games. Not a lot of them really offer. Again, it's almost like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, the visuals are great and wonderful and interesting, but they're all very similar. Even though you have just vastly,
Yeah.
you have like Lego Indiana Jones and then Lego Star Wars and Indy. Vastly different franchises, but they kind of feel very similar to games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is aimed at younger children. So
Oh yeah. But
But I mean, with franchises like that, they're definitely going to get the older players. And one of the things that I've always enjoyed is, and I'm gonna touch on this first, the sound design, familiar soundtracks and perfect like recreations or even just adding that original soundtrack to it. I mean, I enjoyed playing Lego Harry Potter and recognizing all the music in each of the locations, and it's kind of a nostalgia thing as well.
uh-huh.
Especially like Lego Star Wars and you're in Coruscant doing the chase scene in the cars, and even though it's very generic, it's just sort of it's that feeling because you know the story and you love Star Wars and you're like, yeah, this is awesome. You know, it's like playing a Dragon Ball Z game.
It's kind of like it's seeing what you love, but from a different
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
It's kind of
And
like if you were
homage.
like if you loved something like a film as a kid, and then you see a cartoon made out of it, why the fuck not? You know,
Yeah.
I enjoy the franchise. Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, fully get that. I don't know. It never synced up with me.
I'm gonna make you play it with me.
They'll probably make it even worse.
Yeah, because I'll punch you repeatedly until you like it.
Wonderful. You really, really are like the China of video games.
And you're Tibet, so.
Fair enough.
Your mum will be at the door, free Tibet, and I'll be like, no, he's playing Lego.
No.
I'm changing your name legally to Tibet.
You know what? Okay. I all right. No, I'm actually interested in how you will go about this. Okay.
Free Tibet. China, I think. Okay, China, I think I have something you want. God, Family Guy.
What does the North Korea of video games, Jake, feel about Lego games? Who's been very quiet because of his headache.
Yeah, I don't do well with headaches.
Most people don't,
I-
except
I
Psyduck.
did play. I played.
Sigh,
Yeah, well, he does like. That bit's crazy though. So
Oh, please say sigh,
Oh God. Yeah.
I played Lego Harry Potter at Josh's house, and that was
That
really
was
fun.
brilliant.
Did he punch
They're
you?
just fun.
Did he punch you until
No.
you learned to say
No,
that?
he actually,
A
he,
little bit.
I think I remember you distinctly saying that the split screen, the way the split screen works, basically it's probably one of the most ingenious. No,
Ingenious.
ingenious.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it wrong, but I said it right. Good save.
Well, the
It's
screen
one of the
merges.
most. It's one of the most. Yeah, it's kind of like the screen splits into like diagonally, and it kind of it rotates as you walk around the different rooms, and then you walk back into the same screen, and it just merges seamlessly. I thought that was probably one of the most brilliant implementations of co-op ever, because it's kind of like, you know, when you're playing like Super Mario and you get to the edge of the screen and you're waiting for that one person who's just slow, and it's kind of like, no, I want to move on.
I
And
get
it
that.
allows you to do that in environments that are like fully interactive environments. There's always something interesting to be found in the Lego games, or in each of the worlds, etc.
I love Diagon Alley. They did that well.
Yeah,
Really
it's
well.
awesome.
It was awesome.
Next Lord of the Rings game, Guardians of Middle Earth. Now, that game looks brilliant.
Okay, here's the thing.
I'm excited.
I watched the two trailers I watched for the Lego trailer and this trailer. The Lego trailer, in my mind, was so much better. Like, because I mean, it tried to recreate the feel of the trailer for the movie. So it did a lot of the movie shots. With this one, it just had a bunch of guys fighting, and then Smeagol tried to fight Gandalf, and I was like, oh yes, this is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I kind of want it to be like what War in the North should have been. I'm hoping there'll be some form of co-op, and it'll just be a good old romping fun. Because it seems to me, because they called out, like he called out Legolas, and it's clearly Smeagol. So, using similar characters of the series, like utilizing the characters of the actual movies and books, I think is their way of trying to make it more enticing for players. Because War in the North did terribly.
yeah, but then again, I don't know. I think it was also a price issue with that game. Like, I remember it did very poorly, and then instead of like dropping the price, they're like, no, 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 we're still gonna make it very expensive indeed. And I remember also picking up like the box in the store. Like there was almost no explanation behind anything. It was just, come and play in Middle Earth, 3-player co-op. That's a weird number. Yep, buy game now. Um,
Please buy me. I'm so
Yeah.
lonely.
also, yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from anything. But I'm always excited when it's a franchise that I actually know stuff about, and especially universally that. Like I love a good Star Wars game. I love a good Lord of the Rings game. I love a good Harry Potter game, etc. Because I know things about the universe, and I've read all the books and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we can be hopeful for a decent Lord of the Rings game. I think Lord of the Rings is due for another good game since Return of the King.
Oh,
Since the
I
movie.
just want another Return of the King. If
They should just
this,
remake
like,
that. And then they can tie it in with like a big theatrical Blu-ray release of the ultimate special awesome edition of the movies, and then oh yeah, and here's a HD remake of the original movie games. Here you go.
Does it have to be called that?
Yes.
Damn.
Almost
Poor
exclusively.
choice in name.
Yeah.
Poor choice in name.
I'm pretty sure it'll sell more copies than you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there hasn't been any gameplay trailers.
There is not a lot of gameplay trailers out for many of these games.
No. I mean, I'm talking about the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no. But
Just
time
CGI
will,
one?
time will tell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, E3 is coming up, so we're gonna find out a lot more about all of these games. Yeah, and I'm sure with all our guessing and all our punditry, we're probably gonna get just as many right as we got wrong. So there you go. There you go. Huh? 50-50? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god, if anybody's still listening, I'm sorry in advance. Okay, we'll move it on to Dawnguard.
Yeah.
Yeah. In case anybody hasn't figured out by now, we pretty much just have a list of things that we want to talk about, and we just move it on because we have no idea how to segue.
Well, fuck segues. They're too mainstream.
We'll get there eventually. We'll eventually. No shit, but I enjoy making terrible segues. I'm like the dad jokes of segues.
I promise to one listener now that we will strive to make worse and worse segues as we develop this podcast.
We will send you one segue every week the ransom isn't paid. No, we should just Jake should just from now on, every time we're done with a topic and we can move on, he just yells out change places and then we move on.
Yes.
That or an air horn.
Yes. And
Perfect.
an air raid siren, and it's like one of the fully crank ones. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done.
Perfect.
Dawnguard, vampires in Skyrim.
Could be cool.
Yep. Yeah. Please don't elaborate. You've said all you need to say. Jake, I'm interested in what you have to say.
About what? Dawnguard?
Yeah. He's not
I
even
got bored of
listening.
Skyrim after
He's not
60
even-
hours.
He's not even listening to his own podcast that we're recording.
Oh god.
My head really hurt, and now I'm just really tired. So I'm just here. Yeah.
Wow, you're making it sound like we're holding you like for ransom or just like as a hostage.
You are?
Yes, they
I
are
thought that's what
treating
this
me.
was. No, I played
Oh,
Skyrim
mum,
for.
they are treating me
Wait,
good and stuff, and they are giving me meals every day, because I'm British and I need to eat every day,
I
at
will just
least.
leave the call if I have to.
Will you though?
I will.
Yeah, all right,
It's
Jake.
10. It's almost 10:30.
How do you feel about Skyrim and the Dawnguard?
I played Skyrim for 59 hours, so that's a fair bit for a game.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't
I very
know.
much enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm going to bother paying for the DLC though. It got boring very quickly towards that end of the towards
But
that 60 hours.
that's why DLC is great, re-injecting life into other franchises, etc.
But it's not it. But yeah, but DLC I've gotten in the past, just didn't give it life. It just added more
You
of the
bought the
same
horse
stuff.
armor for Oblivion, didn't you?
Which DLC are you talking about in particular?
Um, I can't really think of any. That's a really poor argument.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not very quick at the moment. I have to apologize.
Well, you don't have to apologize. But we would
old
definitely
headache
appreciate it.
excuse. The old headache excuse. That's what France used in World War II.
It's a trusty excuse.
Oh, hello,
But,
France. You want to try fighting Hitler with us?
But what,
Oh
Andy?
no.
What did the DLC have in it?
It had vampires. It had
new quests.
crossbows. Oh
Crossbows.
yeah, but everyone's. I mean, like, if it didn't have that, yeah, that's a given. But crossbows, vampires, and from what it looked like, you could transform into this vampire lord or this weird thingy. Also gargoyles. I saw
This weird
gargoyles.
thingy.
Well,
There's
yeah,
the new,
yeah.
the new quest lines.
I would
Yeah.
be very, yeah. I mean, I'd be very much surprised if it wasn't.
There's a new guild, the Dawnguard Guild,
Yeah.
that you can join.
Well, a faction guild.
Faction, whatever. It's same difference.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Um,
not, but the
But
same
yes.
same difference being that they're different words.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally excited for it. I enjoyed Skyrim much more than I enjoyed
But I think
Oblivion.
the question is, are you still enjoying Skyrim enough?
I haven't played it for a while because I played it as a pirated copy. And
Whoa, Andy, you're gonna get yourself arrested and deported.
you're right. I mean, not pirated, but pirated.
Ah,
Yeah.
crap.
God damn, I ain't quick.
Damn.
Headache. I have a headache. I'm not quick.
You know what? Headaches really do that to you, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, they fuck you
God,
up.
yeah, they fuck your shit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love you, Jake.
Huh?
I love you.
Thank you.
He's pouring his heart and soul.
Yeah, that's all you have to say.
Me? Yeah. Thank you.
That could not have gone better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I'm excited for Dawnguard.
I will consider it briefly, then remember that I do not like Skyrim all that much, and that I have many other games in my list that I want to play more than Skyrim at the moment.
Well, I mean, I look at it this way. This is the way DLC, in my mind at least, should be set up. You have a game, it comes out, everyone enjoys it, it gets good ratings from critics, it gets a good reaction from the fans. Then, after a amount of time has passed, you release new content for the game at a reasonable price to extend the life of the game, and people can buy it if they want, or they don't.
You're wrong. Here's how DLC should be. They should
Okay.
include all the content on the disc, and then you have to buy other stuff to access that content on the disc. Lol, jokes. I'm not Capcom.
Thank God you're not Capcom, because I would not
Oh my
be
God.
doing a podcast with you.
Oh, actually, you know what? The biggest
Biggest?
douchebags of DLC. Does this? It probably doesn't even count as DLC. Skylanders, Spyro Skylanders.
Oh, see,
You have
no,
to
no,
you have
no.
to buy the little figurines to get the character in the game. It's just
I think it's fucking brilliant because, and here's why.
kids are
it's-
stupid.
Yes, that's exactly it. No, think about it. If you were a little kid, you would love that. You would think that is awesome.
Oh yeah,
I mean, and no adult's gonna buy that because I look at Spyro and I'm like, this is the Spyro that I remember. Fuck that. And I don't have any interest. But a little kid sees that and like, fuck yeah, bright colors and figurines. Oh, if they could somehow work holographic cards into that, that's everything every little kid wants. No, literally, that's
Bring
it.
bring back Tarzos.
Oh, well, like yeah, just little shitty collectibles from chip packets.
Yes, Spyro chips.
Oh, Pogs, get
Pogs.
Pogs, Spyro Pogs. Yeah, no, I mean because again,
Oh no, look, it's
those games aren't targeted at us.
brilliant, absolutely brilliant idea to make money. But I think that is the like me as an adult, I would be pissed if I had to buy my child that. I probably would. And that'll wrap us up for this week. If you like the VG Run podcast, follow us on the Twitters, add us on the Facebooks, likety like. We have a YouTube channel. Subscribe, rate, comment,
We're
WordPress.
just
It's all
whores.
going to be there.
We're internet whores. We just
Internet
want all
whores,
of your
all the
things.
social media.
Yeah. Well,
It's been a pleasure. I'm Josh.
Uh-huh.
That's Andy. That's Jake.
Yep.
Catch you on the flippity flop.
that means probably next week.
Betty and the Jets.
Bye bye.